Get ready for some new fallout from the 9/11 terror attack of this year that killed 4 Americans in Libya. According to an Associated Press report, the White House is now floating out the idea of using a strike team to take out the terrorists responsible. But this report is already raising questions about both the possible targets and why we know about what our possible strike team is about to do. Joining me now, Leslie Marshall, a syndicated radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor, and Lars Larson, who's a syndicated radio host with Compass Media Networks. So that is the question that we start with, Lars, is when the strike force is getting ready to strike some terrorists somewhere, don't we usually hear about it after somebody has been hit?
If you have a good commander-in-chief, of course that's what you do. You tell the bad guys after you've hit them. But remember what this president's M.O. is. We communicated to the Taliban in Afghanistan when we're going to pull out, and they're beating us bloody right now and killing a record number of Americans as a result. So why would they float this out? Because I think it's the president's way of distracting. He did learn a few things from Bill Clinton. Remember when Monica was about to testify and Clinton got off a jet in the middle of a vacation to announce that we were sending missiles? Well, bombing something is usually a great way to distract the left-wing non-Fox press from what you're doing and the troubles you've got at home. And that may be the president's answer to this. Float it out there, and if it gets more of our people killed, again, that's the president's M.O.
That is highly cynical, Leslie, but we haven't hit anybody. We didn't actually drop any bombs, so the president can't be accused of doing that. But it is interesting that the leak of sending the strike force over has been put out there.
No, absolutely. This is part of the problem when it's sort of like get what you ask for. We ask for transparency, but I have to say, although I want transparency as an American, I want some secrecy when it comes to ideas and what they're going to do here. And I also think that this is not just an idea that came up suddenly. I believe this was an idea that was being, at least the security people I've talked to on my radio show, say that this is something any president, left or right, and any administration is going to look into whenever an American's attacked. And Lars, can you email me the specific number of Americans and where Al-Qaeda is bloodying them up all over the planet? I love you, but you're spreading fear there, buddy.
Well, let me put it this way. We now have more than 2,000 dead in Afghanistan, the majority of those in the last 3.5 years under Obama, and not in the first 8 years of our war in Afghanistan. So those are the specific numbers. Secondly, as far as blowing things up, this president has used drones and Predator missiles more than any other president, certainly more than President Bush, to blow up terrorists. Now, there are terrorists that need to be blown up. I don't doubt that. But if you actually captured them and brought them somewhere, probably not downtown Manhattan, probably not Gitmo under this president, you might be able to squeeze them for information and find out where the next attack is coming from. But again, this president doesn't like to do that either.
Let me ask Leslie this. Talk about the risks politically, right, because we're not military experts here, but politically to President Obama, if he goes ahead with this. Let's say he does identify the terrorists who he believes are behind these assassinations of our 4 Americans. If he unleashes an attack on them, a strike force on them, prior to November 6th, prior to the election, he's going to be accused of doing something political, and then there could be damaging fallout to him, Leslie.
Well, honestly, the damage is far beyond a presidential election. Right now, the United States government doesn't fully trust the governments of Libya or Mali. These are both very fragile interim governments, and we have a very large al-Qaeda presence in the north of Mali, and we also have an al-Qaeda presence, obviously, specifically with links to Ansar al-Sharia in Libya. We don't have enough evidence to just bomb, but in the same place, the White House, I think, is very clear that they can't go through arresting and holding them responsible criminally, because what Lars is forgetting is these are international criminal situations. We have to have the cooperation of those governments, which we're not sure we're going to have. And the backlash could be an increased amount of support on the ground by civilians in both these countries, Libya and Mali, to Al-Qaeda, Ansar al-Shahari.
That is a risk.
And Ansar al-Shahari only has one phone call and one eyewitness that links them to this attack.
And all right, I'm going to let you respond, Lars, but I do want to say that Islamists in the region, according to reports, are already preparing for a reaction from us and say, quote, if America hits us, we will multiply the September 11th attack by 10. So obviously, our commander-in-chief needs to worry about what will happen if we do send in the strike force and actually take some terrorist lives.
But here's the thing that Leslie's absolutely wrong about. For this president, everything is political. That's why Joe Biden and Valerie Jarrett both told the president, don't even go after bin Laden, because politically it could be too damaging. He is unfortunately not looking out for the best interests of America. He is looking out for his own political best interests. This man is a narcissist from the word go, and he will care more about the effect it has on him than the effect it has on American security. That's where you're wrong, Leslie.
All right, Lars and Leslie, great debate as always. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.